Hey Stone City family, this is Coach Kara coming at you here with your home mobility workout number 1. So basically all you need to do right now is to go find yourself your best smelling sock out of that closet or drawer and roll it up like so, and let's get started. So basically what we have going on today is you'll see the exercises are right behind me. I'm gonna go through about 11 exercises, basically going from ground base to standing. And while our goal is to work on mobility, you're gonna see that we're not doing a ton of stretching. Mostly we're actually going to be working with the goal of getting the appropriate muscles to fire. Sometimes what happens is that tension that we feel in our hips or our shoulders, our lower back, is actually because our actual muscle length tension relationship is kind of out of whack. So we have muscles that are working too hard and other muscles that aren't working hard enough. And when that happens, that's often the result of feeling tight, or maybe you have some of that lower back pain, hip pain, shoulder pain. So we're gonna try to alleviate some of that today by going through an 11 exercise circuit with the goal of basically getting our core muscles to fire and our stabilizer muscles to fire, and maybe letting those big primary muscles take a relax, take a break for a little bit. So let's get started. So your first exercise is a side plank with adductor squeeze and leg reach. So basically that's a lot of words for doing a side plank. You're gonna take your sock, you're gonna stick it in between your thighs, and your goal is going to actually be really focusing on your breathing. So you're gonna try and get a nice big diaphragmatic breath in, and then you're gonna give a nice big exhale, puckering those lips as if almost you're breathing out of a straw, and all while squeezing your sock in between your thighs. All right, so basically in between each breath you can let your squeeze on the sock relax. So squeeze that sock, get that big breath in, big exhale out, big arm reach. Think about pulling your shoulder blade down to your butt cheek, almost like that side of your body is like an accordion on that side and it's squishing in, all while keeping your head and neck neutral with your spine. Okay, so give that a go now. You're doing about 5 to 8 breaths each side. Don't be surprised when we add the actual breathing into the side plank, it can be a major game changer. Good luck. Same time, you're reaching those fingers as far away as possible, and then you're gonna pucker those lips, exhale out all that air, all while squeezing your sock. Okay, so I hope that went okay for you. Now we are going to do the hot potato. We're gonna do about 8 to 10 reps each side with 5-second holds. So this is gonna look kind of funny, but basically you're gonna set yourself up kind of looking like a frog. You're going to take a deep breath in and you're gonna push yourself off the ground, imagining that the ground is like really hot, or you can imagine playing hot potato. You wanna get rid of it right away. So you're gonna drive off the ground super strong and hard. You're gonna hold that for like an isometric plank for about 5 seconds. Then you're gonna release it, come back down, let everything relax, and you're gonna do that again. And that is basically, yeah, the hot potato. And actually, I got this exercise from Dr. Liebenson. Check it out. All right, your next exercise is going to be a forearm plank with internal grab and reach. So basically your goals are going to be to keep those hips nice and square to the ground, and you're going to put your shoulder in an internal rotation. You're going to grab the sock off the lower part of your back. Then you're going to give a nice big reach out. Then you're going to place the sock back on to your back, and then basically alternate to the other hand. So essentially your goal is to keep those hips nice and square, so A, the sock doesn't fall off your back, and B, when you're giving a reach out, really try and reach out as far as you can. So yeah, let's bang about 8 to 10 or so aside. Good luck. Exercise is called a Navy SEAL reach. So this is really going to work on that hip extension and your thoracic overhead reaching, essentially. So grab your sock, check out this video. Your goal is essentially to reach a little bit further with every single rep. So start with the sock, reach as far as you can, drop it, and then when you reach back, you're gonna be able to get a little bit further, drop it, reach back, you're gonna get a little bit further, drop it, do as many reps as it takes to get to the point where you can't reach that sock anymore. Then you're gonna switch it around to the other side. Like all these exercises, if you notice a big difference left versus right, then try to attack more reps on the side that you don't have so much range. Okay, awesome. We are moving right along now. Now we're going to go into 3 different bird dog progressions. So you've seen in class, we've done different, lots of crawling often, and now we're just gonna up the antes on a couple of these exercises. So the first bird dog is what you typically will see. We're gonna be starting on all fours, hands over the shoulders, or shoulders over the hands, hips over the knees, have those toes pulled in behind. You're just gonna lift opposite arm, leg up off the ground. Trying to keep your hips square, trying to create as much length as possible. So really think about extending your elbow and that knee, and hold that for a couple seconds and bring it back in. So you're gonna bang out your reps, about 10 per side, and then we're gonna come back and we're going to up the antes on this bird dog. Good luck. Okay, awesome job warming up some anti-rotation with those bird dogs. Next, we are going to assume the exact same start position. So shoulders over the hands, knees under the hips. And now all we're going to do is you're gonna sniff in that air and you're just going to lift your knees like 2 inches off the ground, hold it for a few seconds, and then drop back down. Lift the knees a couple inches off the ground, hold it, maybe let's say 5 seconds, and then back down. Okay, so give that a try, and then we're gonna make it one more level difficulty up when you come back. Alrighty, so our last bird dog progression is basically, remember that hot potato we did earlier with kind of that weird frog stance? Well, now you're gonna think about that same thing, except now we are going to start like you just did with the knees off the ground, and now we're only gonna have 2 points of contact on the ground. So you're gonna have kind of that hot potato of lifting opposite arm, leg off the ground, but really the goal is only to lift them maybe a couple inches off the ground. I'm gonna video it here. You'll clearly see where some of my weaknesses are. The goal is to keep those hips as square to the ground and actually resisting that rotation, okay? So give this bird dog 2 points with that little hot potato lift opposite arm, leg, and we'll see in a bit. Okay, awesome job. Pound it. We are almost through here, your mobility sequence. Now we're gonna move on to our plank dissociation exercise, arms only. So basically, use an inchworm, walk yourself out to that plank position. Have the shoulders set over top of the hands. Bring your feet starting off with, I would say, about shoulder width apart, because the goal of this exercise is to dissociate upper body from lower body. So you're going to want to keep those hips square to the ground while lifting a hand off the ground and reaching up towards the ceiling. All right, so our goal is to dissociate upper and lower body, so keep those hips square and complete your reps each side. We are going to, well, I didn't even write it on the board, so let's bang about like 8 to 10 out each side. If you notice a difficulty, which you may, most of us will, then how about do like 10 on the tighter side and like 5 on the other side. So let's close the gap on that difference, okay? So plank disassociation, arms only. Good luck. Okay, how'd that go for you? Now we're gonna also up the antes on this plank dissociation by adding a knee drive. So essentially you're gonna do exactly what you just did, except now after every arm rotation, when you're back into the plank, right away you're gonna use the opposite hip and do a knee drive in. All right, so we're doing pretty much the same thing, but now we're just adding that knee drive. So again, we're going to do about, I don't know, maybe 8 or so, 6 to 8 each side. See how you're feeling. Good luck. Okay, so now we're gonna move to standing. So we're gonna incorporate 2 exercises together, and we're gonna start working on some single leg balance and hinging and overhead reaching. So basically kind of plant that foot into the ground like you have that tripod foot, ball the toe, ball the big toe, ball the little toe in the heel. When you do your cradle, you're gonna try to sit back into a hinge like we do a deadlift. So imagine that your shin is staying pretty perpendicular to the ground, and all the movement is coming from your hips. So we're gonna drive the hips back, then you're gonna come back up, and then you're gonna sweep the leg through into a single leg deadlift. When you're doing that single leg deadlift, you wanna feel that tension and that down leg hamstring. If you're feeling it too much in the front of the quad thigh area, then likely means you are bending your knee a little too much. If you're comfortable with just doing the cradle to the deadlift motion, then start incorporating your arm movement. So we'll start getting a little bit longer lever lengths in there. So when you sit back into the cradle, reach out with the palms up. And then when you reach back into your single leg deadlift, again, reach both arms above your head, creating as much length as you can between your toes and your fingers. So really extend the elbows and extend the reaching knee back. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's bang out about 5 to 8 per side on that one. And don't forget, if you're not so great with balance, then just find something to hold on to, like your counter or a chair. Good luck. All right, wicked job. We are going to move on to our last exercise of the sequence, and basically it's going to kind of close everything up. This exercise really focuses both some mobility and stability. So we're going to do an inchworm walkout to a Spider-Man overhead reach each side. Then you're going to walk your hands back. That's going to be 1 rep. You're going to bang out around 5 to those. If you're really feeling it, maybe bump it up to 8 or 10. How about now we just all go out for a walk outside. Pound it, high five it. Man, I can't wait to see you guys back in the gym.